Hello, hello. Welcome to another Sketchy Live, where I'll be sketching for about as long as it takes until my kids inevitably. This is what I did last Sketchy Live. It wasn't last night, but and now I've just added a detail from the first page, which was something I was missing, was award, YouTube award, presented to Elijah and Crumpet for passing 100,000 subs. Now, I don't think I've actually done that, but, you know, little joke. Kind of dulled it down a little bit to make it look like it's behind glass in the picture frame. So, heading back out to the gallery, this one should be in my other folder, which is because this is tonight's background, should be in line work, because I'm trying to keep my line work pages Rob and Elijah, well, Elijah and Crumpet, I should say, good evening. I'm just making sure, so I've got it's good filing system here in Procreate. So here I'm doing all my black and white. I'll do foregrounds on separate layers as well, the characters. That way, when we want to do our colouring in books, we can just go, I'll have that one, thank you very much, and add the characters wherever we like, and we've got a beautiful page for a colouring in book. That's planning in advance. So I've got actually no real reference for tonight's drawing, but my day's been really good. This is what my initial scribble looks like. But this is to give me an idea. I've done a bit of a layout because I've worked out the half-page area. Now this scene, still keeping everything top secret, is a landscape scene. We have a campfire in the middle, some surrounding gum trees, mountains in the background. There will be some other stuff going in here, which is top secret. But yeah, I'm just getting the basics of this background in. I'll go a different layer for my actual drawing layer. I thought you were going to say this is what my daughter drew. No, she's much neater than I am. So HB pencil is what I'm liking. And I think I'll start with the background and then I'll gradually move further forward. Now I've got another mountain scheme which sadly I think I've done to death, and it's a different which is kind of the background behind Elijah and Crumpet's house. So I'm gonna have to knock together a different mountain scene, because I think the mountain profiles might be starting to become a little. It's a mountain range just from a different angle. Might make this a bit. That's not the one. Not that one. That one. Just to give me a feel for where it is. So is it bedtime there at the Elijah and Crumpet household. It was good to have you on the other night. I did want to get on last night. I don't know if it was a full moon or something. But the kids were cray-cray. And it just wasn't going to happen. So I've got a bit of catching up to do. Now I think I'll put that mountain behind that mountain. Guess what I'm doing, Andy? I'm sending an invoice to America for 2 Motivate Man books, which were ordered via the Elijah and Crumpet website. Guess what? I know who they were too. I was meant to send you that today. Guy called Will Mosley. He's a YouTuber, content creator friend of mine, and very prolific, does daily vlogs and all this kind of stuff. I've had him on, I've interviewed him before, and yeah, they've got 4 kids, so they've got a couple of books. Very exciting about that. So I know where the exact order came from. And so if you're watching on the playback, or Rob if you want to check out Will Mosley, he's on YouTube. He's got a podcast called the Will Mosley Podcast. He's a web designer, filmmaker, and just an all-round awesome dude, which just happened to meet while doing this thing, just like I met you guys. It's really nice that he's able to support us and get to see what we've been up to. It's not nearly bedtime. Elijah went at 8:30 when the other work begins. Okay. Now do some merge downs here. How funny. Yeah, no, it's awesome when friends support. It is also awesome when people that you don't even know come in and purchase. Heard a bit of movement from up the back there. Hopefully they'll stay asleep. So that's my general. Postage is changing from over $8 a book to around $3 next month. So I'm going to see if I can send him 4 books instead as a surprise. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be very nice. So these mountain ranges, I'm not going to put the trees in because I've made the trees already. I've got about 4 or 5 which I can flip, reverse, make small, make big, make the little kind of forest back here. So I'm going with the basic mountain ranges. I'm not going to shade them yet because I'll shade them later. I'm going to put in the fire. Can't find a different layer. Stop the 4 kids fighting over them. Yeah, that's right. They get stickers too. Very cool, very generous. Thank you, Rob, for looking after my internet buddies. Now, what have I done? No, they can all be merged down. So right, so I'm gonna have to do these in get my stone practice. It's got a connector, it's no good. For filling with colour, that is, anyway. I look like I've done a whole heap of ears. I hear some stirring up the back. It might be a short live stream tonight. Obviously I didn't have enough outdoor activities to tire them out during the day. Either way, if the live stream ends, the idea is I'll post for QuickTime on tomorrow night. Sketchy Live. So that way you'll either see it in real time, me drawing and waffling on, or you'll get to see it all sped up in quick time. That's kind of the idea. We've been having a few campfires lately since we've had our bus. Been checking out a few local camping spots when we've been making trips to the mechanics. We had our full service of a bus. And then recently we had to go back and get the park brake fitted. Been good actually, getting some hours up behind the wheel driving the bus. I actually really quite enjoy it now. It's pretty nerve-wracking to start off with. Driving an 11-metre metal box. Oops. So just wondering, Rob, are you a coffee drinker at all? I've been contemplating the horrific proposition of giving up coffee for a while, because I do know that it, like back when I was suffering a lot more with anxiety, it wasn't very good for me. And then I just kind of slipped back into the old ways of drinking coffee again and being up late at night. Like I have a coffee before going live, because just because you're feeling sleepy. It's the end of the day. I found I'm more of a morning person, and I'd like to do drawing and stuff in the morning. But sadly, that's when my girls aren't sleeping their best. They're really light sleepers in the early morning. Like if I get up about 3:30 and something and start drawing. But they're really light sleepers that time of the night. So I'm better to do my drawing now, because you hear one of my girls has just fallen back to sleep. Had one with your dinner too? Yeah, well, I've had one just before my drawing here. But I found out some disturbing news. Like, it's funny because there's so many health benefits to coffee, and you kind of wonder who puts out these health benefits. Probably Nescafe or someone like that. But I also found out that when you drink coffee, the amount of blood flow to your brain and to your heart gets restricted by about 27%. 27%. I found that pretty disturbing. Yeah, Rob from Elijah and Crumpet, about 5 cups a day, had one with dinner and tea on top of that. And hopefully a hot cup of cocoa as well. Hot chocolate. Try decaf to wean yourself off. Then also try rooibos tea. So it sounds exactly like I'm butchering that name. I have tried it before and had pretty bad headaches. I think that's probably but yeah, blood flow from your brain and your heart restricted 27%, and also raises your blood pressure. The funny thing is they also say, oh, it's good for your heart, and it's good for all these things as well. So it's really hard to know what to believe. But I was thinking, maybe it's worth giving it a go, but then I feel I get into the groove more. Like when I'm writing and drawing and I'm drinking a cup of coffee. It just feels right. So, yeah. It's hard to know. Pronounced rooibos tea. Okay, cool. Because that's the thing as well. I've heard that so if you have your cup of coffee at night time because you've got some work to do before bed, is that sure? Like, because like if you ask me, does it affect your sleep? I'd say no, because I pretty much, like, as a parent, you'd know this, Rob, as soon as your head touches the pillow, you're just out to it. Well, that's if you're anything like me. But apparently, allegedly, is nowhere near as good. And you wake up tired. And guess what? I wake up pretty tired. So, it'd be nice not to wake up tired. Now, some more bits of... While we're on the gum tree theme. It's a nice big log in there. So I have to ask you, Rob, are you a firelighters kind of person, or are you you are a newspaper person? How much newspaper do you actually use? My wife prides herself on the fact that she only uses one piece of newspaper to get a fire started, whereas I screw up about half of a newspaper into tight balls to get a fire started. It seems to be like a bit of a competition between us. She always kind of is pretty happy with the fact that it doesn't take much to get the fire started. And then, you know, I've burnt half a newspaper and the thing's still smoking. Some good chunks of gum on this campfire. Firelighters. Yep. Good idea. There is also one other category of starting fires is people that, you know, tend to, but you know, that's not really, that's cheating, I think. Try to use one piece and one piece of kindling. Ooh, now the challenge is on. Now, I think we need another log here. I mean, just a good old, standard log. Bit of dry grass goes a long way too here. And when you think about it, I mean, you only have to have seen an Australian bushfire to know how well they catch fire. So I've got a good campfire story. Good story to tell while you're around the campfire is that me and my brother and friends, you know, late teen, early 20s years, would go up the River Murray water skiing, and you know, we'd have a few brews and sit around the campfire. And anyway, my brother had his feet up on this big log that was sticking out of a fire, and I wasn't actually there at the time, but I saw what had happened. Hey Sebastian, how you going? A bit of dry grass. Yeah, that was, you know all about Australian bushfires. Sebastian is a CFS guy who helps put out these things. Anyways, his leg up on this log, and anyway, I come back from a ski boat and we're coming into shore, and there's my brother on the bank with his pants down around his knees, with another one of his mates pulling his pants off, and kind of going, "What's going on?" It looked quite unusual. And so what had happened is my brother had his feet up on this log, and this massive centipede had crawled out of a log and up his trouser leg, and he grabbed hold of it with his hands, and he said it was squirming so tight he couldn't let go. He couldn't get his pants off at the same time as holding on to the centipede. So his mate had to like pull his dax down while he's holding on to the centipede. And he didn't get bitten by the centipede. But so there's my campfire story. So the rocks around here. So Sebastian, what I'm doing is this is a basic outline. This is the background of a double page spread. Mountains in the background, campfire. Gonna have some gum trees around here. Adding the foreground in different layers. As you can see back in my gallery, I've got some other backgrounds here, like a background of a car, and I wrote backgrounds on there for my YouTube thumbnail, but that will come off Rob from Elijah and Crumpet, I swear. So I've got these other backgrounds. So I'm creating backgrounds at the moment. And I'm leaving them as line work as well. So that they can become colouring in pages. So that will probably do me for logs for the moment. Merge them down. I can even merge it down. Starting to look like Flinders Ranges. It does look a bit like the Flinders Ranges. This is actually set in Queensland, where Elijah and Crumpet kind of used a basic thing of the Glasshouse Mountains as a kind of a reference point with a Queenslander home. And you know, it's kind of evolved from there. It seems quite fitting, Seb, that you happen to tune in while I'm creating a campfire, being a fiery and all. Would like to visit the Glasshouse Mountains. Yeah, I was there when I was a kid. And I remember we went on about a 3-month holiday with a family when we were a kid, and my folks bought a trailer sailor that we're going to take up, and so we towed this boat all the way up to Queensland and through the Glasshouse Mountains, and distinctly remember, you know, munching on sugar cane in the back seat of a Valiant towing this giant trailer sailor. It was, you know, it's funny when you're a kid, like I don't remember any of my school days, well, not much, but the 3 months that I was on holidays with a family, that big kind of take your kids out of school holiday. It's just like I can remember all the details from that. It's funny the way memory works like that. Fire needs to be off during the day. How do you mean, Rob? Do you mean that I need to not have this fire lit? Is that what you're saying? Ah, so the fire's not lit. You just saved me a ton of work, Rob. This is the awesome thing about illustrating live for the person who is watching at the other end in Queensland. That's fantastic. Okay, so now that's made that a lot easier. This is a pretty basic layout because I'm adding trees later. But great that it's all set ready for the evening. It is great that it's set ready for the evening. What I might do in here, I feel, just because I can't help myself, I might make this a bit smaller. What have I got here? And then see how that works. No, wrong layer. I did it on the same layer, didn't I? Now, what was I using before? I think I was using the Rinder pencil. It's just a little bit darker. I do agree, leave a fire out. Well, that's coming from a CFS guy. I say, light that thing. To confirm, should I put some firelighters in? Firelighters or scrunch newspaper? And in scrunch newspaper, how many pieces of scrunch newspaper should I put in? Oops, sorry, bumping the camera. Getting too excited here. I can't believe how funny that is. I keep singing the praises of live streams, creating art live, and you know, that's a pretty good reason why. Be illustrating with your client right there. Only at night. Now, Rob and Sebastian, I want to know, toasted marshmallows, yes or no? I tend to prefer to eat them just raw. I think they're pretty yucky toasted personally. I don't understand it. You could put a red bucket of water next to it with fire on it. Good idea. We did something similar when we were camping. I've got these big jerry cans of water. I thought, toasted. You like them toasted? Our 2-year-old had her first try of toasted marshmallows, and it was messy. Not so they catch fire though. Kids love cooked, but I'm more of a raw person. Yep, me too. Like, I do love burning a marshmallow and setting it on fire like a firelighter. Sorry, Seb. It's like, you know, fire thing in me likes to set marshmallows alight. What am I doing? It's on that layer. Have you ever seen the magic fire powder which you add and it changes the colour of the flames? No. Little packet next to a fire bucket with magic fire on it. It's an in-joke of one of my friends from a camping trip. Okay. Interesting. Now I am going to bring all those down into the fire. So I've got the hills and the fire. It's really important to name these things. I really get lost. You get a separate layer for the bucket. We'll try a HB pencil. Good thing is, on a separate layer, I can move it all around independently. They're selling them at camping shops now. I've never heard of it. Are they completely safe or a little bit dangerous on the, like, you know, a bit like fireworks? So I'm just going to give myself some kind of guidelines. For me, writing fire. Ready to light the fire on a later page, that's right. Now the text, I think, should be monoline. Just give a bit more of a defined edge. should be capital. If you have basic minerals, you can do it that way. I'll send you a picture of a packet on Instagram. Okay, thank you very much. I can also change the color of the text as well. Get rid of that one. Go with just for the down to, that can look bigger, I reckon. There we go. Did you? You must have sent it to me in Messenger. I won't look at it right now because it might give away some of the story things. There might be other messages on there that you've sent me. Now, if I go like this, I can make the fire bucket as big as I like. I can tilt it, all sorts of stuff. So that's one of the super cool things. So I'll add the box later. I think the size of that is probably about right. Now, get rid of that reference. And then can go. Now, you can duplicate or delete. You see they're very close to each other? I did think the bucket looked a bit small. Okay, let's go back in there. We can do this right now. We looking good there, Rob? Oh, that was Seb, sorry. Cool. It's nice to promote fire safety, especially in a kid's book. And you know, you're having an impact on the book now, Sebastian. You know, that's good. You'll get to kind of create this thing. Okay, so oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. This dangerous bit: duplicate, not delete. Duplicate. Sorry, the Instagram picture is just to show you, but it doesn't say magic fire on it. You can just draw a little sachet with magic fire. Okay, cool. Okay, and then we go to color background. So where did it put it? I think I just have to take it out first. And then I'll put that stack on there. You've got to do it that way around. Oh yeah, Rob, I don't think you were on before. Background in page 1 because it wasn't there before. So yeah, congratulations on passing 100,000 subs. Okay, this is where things get really... Now I can merge all these down now. I don't want to get in trouble for non-regulation 5 bucket size. Of course, yes. Now, let's get some green hills going. Beautiful, isn't that beautiful? Let's see. No, I've done it on the wrong layer. Hills, thank you very much. There we go. And you can see you adjust the threshold, bring the threshold back, because you get the line. You see it's drawing like a, an actual HB pencil, and then you fill in the texture of the pencil, which is really cool. The Queensland Fire Inspectors will be after us. Not anymore, they won't. We've got regulation here. Now, bring that down a bit lighter. Going the wrong way. I know what's going on here. It's because I need this connected. I can fill it. I can take it out later. But I do want to keep the... There we go. That's what I wanted. Now get that one somewhere between. Okay, one that's... So if we choose that one, we get it on the colour wheel, and then just add a bit of darkness to make it further away. One day that YouTuber award may be relevant. At least the book won't be out of date. That's that's right. You must be getting close now. You must be. There we go. And we'll go. Bring it right up. More muted, kind of like that, I think. Let's give that a go. No, that's not the colour I'm after. That's probably more like it, just like a pale green. That's annoying. Uh-oh, see what's happened there. My God, how did that happen? I've got an eraser line going through there. Just gonna have to, don't know how many backward steps I can do. Gonna have to, I've done this before. It's very easy to do. There's a telltale line going through there. Yeah, what about more of a dirt look? Yeah, maybe. I might give that a go. It's easy enough to do. Now, I think that was still a HB. Let's have a look here. Maybe something like that. Something like that. Because I'm going to have gum trees on it. The gum trees are going to have kind of that gum tree coloured. Well, I suppose I can muck around that once I've got the gum trees on and see what looks as a good contrast. I've still got a leak in my bucket. There's a hole in the bucket. Elijah. There's a hole in the bucket. Elijah. Oh. See what I did there? It's a beautiful thing. There we go, finally. Goodness gracious me. Now, the fire buckets. Oh, look at that exposure. There we go. Sorry, it must look terrible on the screen. Fire buckets. They're technically red, aren't they? Sure, fire bucket should be red. Silver. Goodness, maybe with red writing. Can I at least have red writing? Oh, what have I done? Thought I'd selected that. Yep, I might have kids woken up. Is that a line on the stone below the bucket? Yes, it is. Thank you. Well spotted. Rob, you know you're going to have to be here on every live, don't you? I'm going to have to do a bit of this kind of thing, I think. Why is it not showing up? Maybe because I need a more solid colour. Here we go. Now if that is there, here we go. Removes that shabby digital edge. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect system. It's good that the kids have managed to go back to sleep every time so far after their staring. I think I've got the bus parked on a bit of uneven ground at the moment. My eldest daughter fell out of bed. She's on the lowest bunk. She fell out of bed onto the floor. Didn't even wake up. Went and put her back into bed, still sleeping. So the idea is, as I get on all these block colours, getting them all locked in, and then once I've added foreground elements and that, then I go in and add shading to the logs, highlights to the logs. I wish that happens for us. No, Sebastian isn't an illustrator. Are you still setting up NBN stuff, Seb? And Seb is also in the CFS. Do they call it the CFS in Queensland? Yes, still working on the NVN, Telstra and Optus fibre network. When will it be done, Seb? Sorry. That's what everybody thinks. When is the NBN going to be in Peak, South Australia? I think I'm actually going to go with a similar kind of log from over there, because all the logs can't be different colours because they're all probably cut from a similar tree. I've got to keep it realistic here. Kids know if you're not being realistic. Does it really matter if it would save lots of time if you didn't have to do that? It would save a little bit of time, but it just kind of, it makes it look a lot nicer. It adds a little bit of time. It's just where the edge is quite pixely like that because it's like it's an undefined line. There you go. I'm pretty happy with those logs. Yeah, pretty sure we do. Not sure, pretty sure we do what that one is. Colour for stones, I'll probably go a bit of more of a grey brown. That's looking good. Now, random. Look at me go. Oh, now we get a different brown. Make it a bit darker. A bit grey brown. Well, it doesn't look any different, really. There we go. The lines are darker, they wouldn't have white bits, perhaps, yeah. Make these ones a little bit more grey. Even more grey. Now, that's going to undo that one, because this is probably a pre-used fireplace. So kind of Sorry, keep bumping. Get back there. That's how it's done. Paint that stuff out. There we go. Now, I really like that. That's a half-page mark. Now, I'm going to have some more fun. Get some gum trees. Where was I here? Here we go, easy as that. And now go another layer. Paste, we will flip horizontal, make it really small, put it off in the background maybe, like so. Oh, I'm liking this. This is where I start to get very excited about this system. Get very fussy moving things around. Okay, this is meant to make it quicker, not meant to make it fussier. Oops. Do I have a dead gum tree? You know, I could probably make a dead gum tree. But I wanted to dazzle you up here. This is one I prepared earlier. That's what you say. These are the dividends you get for library objects. Yes, exactly. This is what it's all about. The system. Yeah, but I've got to be in front of it. I don't want gum tree. Little one. It's got to be down there. You could have some over near the horizon so you can just see the canopy. You mean along this kind of section here? Yeah. It should be down there if we want to get. I'm liking that. Oops. Back out to these ones. That one's a good one, I reckon. Reference size of bucket. Could also have some just kind of over the horizon, because then if I went in on that one, then it would be just kind of coming up from behind there. Yeah. Any trees that no, the hills are a barren wasteland. I don't know, I'm going to work on the horizon here, then I'll muck around with the trees there. But man, I am really liking this. I'm going to have to start merging these down soon. But I like the idea of I'm kind of popping up just above that horizon line as well. gives it an extra dimension. Would I have to mask it? What do you mean? Not sure. I'm going to merge some of these down. Cut them off halfway up. This is on sloping ground, yeah. That's kind of basically what I've done. So I haven't mastered, I've just kind of cut it off there. I think that's what you mean. So there we go. Duplicate that. And then see. If that went back behind here. This is potentially a big mess, but I'm going to experiment with it. Bring the transparency down so I can see where the edge is. I think I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to... It was a nice idea. I think what I've just tried to do it with too many. Gonna go. Yeah, so what I was thinking is that way it's kind of peeking up above just trying to and that way kind of all the angles are pointing towards the middle, you know. You'll do the same kind of thing on the other side, but with a different tree. So, little layer here. Yeah, I better flip that because I've got the same tree right next to it. But you flip it and you don't even know. Might be the end of a live stream. Looking good. Now, oh, time to get one of my girls a water. I'll check you later, everybody, and you can catch the full replay on the start of tomorrow's live, but that's looking really cool. Catch you later, everybody.